Hello and welcome again. So, agenda for our today's video, we will be seeing how to handle advanced web element, which is date picker. So, date selection is one of the most common operations in real applications. For example, you might have seen in flight booking website or hotel booking website or in any kind of insurance forms or DOB selections. So, at all those places, you might have seen the date picker, right? So if you don't know how to automate date pickers, you cannot automate real world projects. Now the question is, what is a date picker? So a date picker is a UI component that allows the user to select a date from a calendar pop-up. Okay. Now there are two types of date picker. So let me show you with the websites so it will be easy for you to understand. Okay. So for that, let me open my Chrome browser. So for the first type of date picker, we will go with this website, which is testautomationpractice.blogspot.com. So if you go inside it, you will find a date picker like this. So if you scroll down, yeah, these are the two date pickers which they have given over here. So this is a dummy website and it can be used for doing the automation practice. So yeah, so I was talking about the first type of date picker. So this is called as a simple input date field. Now, what does that mean? So if you inspect this particular web element, so here you will find that there's this tag called as input and id is called as date picker. Okay, so this is called as a native one and the browser renders a date picker automatically and you can interact with it via send keys. So when it comes to doing automation or handling it through automation, so simply by passing the date using send keys method in this particular input box, that will be it to automate this particular date picker component. Okay, so for the second type of date picker, we'll go with this particular website, which is globalsqa.com demo site date picker. So these are the date pickers. So for example, let's say if I click on inside this text box and this calendar widget got open up. Now if we inspect this calendar widget, okay, so here you will be seeing that these are the non-HTML ones because it do not have that input tag associated to it. Rather than they will be having tags such as div, spans, buttons. So as you can see over here, this particular tag has div and the class attribute. So they cannot be handled using send keys method. Okay, and you must click or navigate and select a particular date from this calendar widget, right? So we will be seeing both these date pickers one by one through a live example. Okay, so first let's get started with the type 1 date picker. Okay, so in here let's create another Python file. Okay, so we'll go with new and inside it let's give this Python file name as date picker. Okay, let's copy some code from our previous files also. Okay, so we'll select all these imports along with the driver instance creation. So we'll put it over here. Okay, now we will be taking this particular website, which is demoqa.com, and here we will remove select menu. We will say date picker. Okay. Okay, so now first of all, let's go to our website, this one, and in here let's identify this particular web element with inspect. So here we will find out that the ID for this particular component is this one. So we'll copy this ID value. Okay, and now let's identify this web element. So we'll give this name as date underscore input, and again using the driver object we will be calling the find element method, and in here we'll call the by class, and let's go with the id locator strategy, and here we'll provide the id value which we have copied from there, right? Now we will try and click on this particular field which we have just identified. So we will be clicking on this field which says date underscore input, and over here using dot operator we'll use click method. Okay, so what it will do, it will click inside that field first, and then as there is a date present already inside that input date input field, so we will first remove that to enter a new one. Okay, so here we will be using again this date underscore input, and we'll call the send keys method, and using the keys operation, so we'll call this as keys dot control. Okay, what it will do, so it will act as if we are pressing the control key from our keypad, and then we will be pressing a. So what it will do, it will select the entire value of date which is present already inside that date component. Okay, so this is giving the error, so let's import this first. Okay, so what we will be doing is from Selenium. Okay, dot WebDriver dot common keys import keys. Okay, so see this error has gone. Now in the next thing we will be pressing the backspace to remove that value. So again we will call this date underscore input, and using the send keys method we will be using keys dot backspace. So first it will select the entire value which is already present, and using the backspace it will delete it. Okay, and after that we will be again using the send keys method to provide the new value inside that text box. Okay, so in here let's give the value as, first let's remove this, we don't need it now, and now let's give a value as 08 10 1990. Okay, so this value will get entered after removing the previous one. And after that, see what happens is I'll show you manually. So first of all we will be clicking inside it, then we will be selecting this entire value, and using backspace we'll be removing it, and then we will be putting our value, and after that we will be clicking enter so that this calendar icon which we are seeing over here will be disappeared. So after we click enter, this calendar icon gets disappeared. So what we will do, we will again call this date underscore input, and using send keys method we will be calling this keys dot enter this time in order to remove that calendar icon, right? Now we will be putting some sleep time, so which will be, let's say, time dot sleep, and here let's give the value as 5 seconds, and after that we will be quitting the browser, so we will put driver dot quit. Okay, so I have shown you manually what our intent is. So the same thing we are expecting with this program as well. So let's try and find out if it's working fine or not. So we will run this file. Now it's expected it will open up the browser, which it did, and it will launch this particular URL. As we are seeing a date present already there. So first it will select that date, it will delete it, and it will enter a new value. Okay. Yeah. So see, it did. So it has entered a new value which is 8th of October 1990, and our program has been executed successfully. Now I will show you with another example the second type of date picker which we've just discussed. Like this time, what it will do, instead of entering the value directly to this input box, it will go through this calendar icon, and whatever date which we are intending to select, it will select that date by clicking on these buttons. Okay, so let's start that with an example. So for that, let's create another Python file. Okay, advanced date picker. Okay, let's copy some code from here, which will be like till here. We'll select the code and put it over here. So this is the common code where we will be launching this particular website in our browser. Now this time let's use this particular URL, which is https colon double slash jquery ui.com slash date picker, and then again a slash. So I'll show you manually how this URL is. Yeah, let me launch this URL. So this is our date picker UI, and if we click it, then this particular calendar widget gets opened up. Now our idea is to go ahead and scroll till the month of August, and let's select 15th of August from here by directly clicking on it. So this time we are not sending any text inside this text field, rather than we are scrolling or navigating through the various months of that date picker widget and finally selecting the desired date out of it. Okay, so let's perform this with an example. Now first of all, we will be here using weight. So for that, let's use this variable name called as weight, and we will call WebDriver weight. Okay, and let's give a timeout of 10 seconds. Now inside it, if we inspect this, right, so over here, if we inspect this particular calendar widget, you would be able to see that there is a frame associated to it. Where you will find it? You will find it over here. See, iframe. So that means what we have seen in our previous video, how to deal with an iframe. First of all, you have to switch to that particular iframe, then only you will be able to perform the certain operations. So this is also an iframe in form of a calendar widget. So our first and foremost thing would be to switch to that particular frame, but before that we will be waiting for that particular frame to appear. Okay, so let's give this variable name called as frame, and here we will use wait variable, wait until, and inside it we will use the expected conditions ec dot, and we will select presence of element located, and let's use by class to call the class name locator strategy. Okay, so if we go inside it, here we will see that the class name for this is demo hyphen frame. So we'll put this value over here. Okay, and now we will be using driver dot switch to, because we have to switch to that particular frame also, right? Switch to frame, and here we will be giving the variable name what we have given over here for the frame. Okay, now as we are inside the frame after this particular line, so what we will be doing is we will be first identifying the element. So let's do it from the beginning. So I'll remove this one, and over here if I click inside it, a calendar widget is getting opened up, right? So over here we will be first doing the click operation itself to open the calendar widget. So we'll first inspect this particular text box. Okay, so which will be like this. So here this part is getting highlighted, which has the id value as date picker. So in order to make that calendar widget visible in the screen, we have to click in that text box for the date picker. So for that, we will be first identifying that particular web element. So we'll call find element method. Okay, and by id, by dot id, we will give this value from here, which is this one, date picker. Okay. So we have clicked inside that text box to make that calendar widget appear. And yeah, we will be using the click function also. Yes. So this line, what it will do, it will make the calendar widget appear. Now, as we want to select 15th of August 2026, so first of all, let's define a variable which says target underscore month is equals to August. Okay. And target year, let's give this value as 2026. And again, let's create a variable which says target underscore date, and let's give this value as 15. Okay. So we have given all the details about the date which we want to select, which are the day, month, and year. And now here we will be using a while loop. So while the condition is true, if month, okay, is equals to driver dot find element by, then first of all let's see what is the value of the month present over here. So we'll inspect this. Okay. And it has this class attribute which is having this value as UI date picker month. Okay, so we'll select this value, copy this value, and inside it we will call the class name locator strategy, and inside it we'll give this value which we have just copied, right? Then we will be putting a dot text. Okay, we will getting the text out of it. Same way for the year, we will be doing as year is equals to, till here we'll copy this what we have given for month. Okay. And similarly for year also, let's find out the respective class name value. Okay. Yeah. So it has this UI date picker here. So we'll copy this value from here and we'll paste it over here. Correct. Now let's give a if condition. If month is equals to target month, okay, and we are using the and operator, and year is equals to target year, right? Then what we will be doing, we will be using a break statement that our condition is fulfilled, and it will break the loop here itself. Otherwise, in the else block, what we will put in the else block, we will be putting driver dot find element by dot XPath. Okay, I'll explain you what this if statement or this if block will do. First, let me write this if this XPath, and the value is double slash a, and at the rate title is equals to next. Okay, dot click. So what happens is, as soon as we click on this calendar icon, right? I'll show you. So it is showing this January 2026, but our idea is to go ahead and select the date as 15th of August 2026. So what it will do, first of all, it will see if the month and the year is equals to target month and year, which we have already defined over here, then this loop will break. Otherwise, it will keep clicking on next. So now next is this one. So if we inspect this, okay, so see, it is highlighting over here, right? And it has this title is equals to next, this one. So it has title equals to next. So this title attribute and it has value is equals to next. So it will keep clicking on next till that particular value of the month and year is equals to the target month and the year, right? And once it finds out that the month and year are equals to, what it will do, it will click the target date, which is 15th of August, which is 15th of August, right? So we'll again find this 15th using find element. Okay, let me have it like this, find underscore element. Okay, by, let's go with XPath again, right? And inside it, what we will do, we will select the 15th date. So here, August 15, if we inspect, right? So this particular thing is getting highlighted, and it has a tag name as A, and also text. Uh, So text is basically 15, right? 15 over here. So we'll write XPath in such a way that it will start with double slash, tag name as A, and inside the square brackets, we will be using this text method, okay, equals to, and we will parameterize the target date. So how to do that? We'll use curly braces, and inside curly braces, just a second, we will be using this particular target date variable name. So we'll copy the value, so copy the name and paste it over here. And after that, we will be putting again a square bracket like this. And here we will be doing a click. Okay. And after that, let's give a sleep time, time dot sleep of again like 5 seconds. And after that, we will quit the browser. So driver dot quit. So, I guess you might have got the idea behind writing this while loop. So, first we have already defined the target month, year, and date which we wanted. And the thing is, why we are using this while loop, because as soon as you open or click on this particular date component, it gives you the January 2026. But we have to keep clicking on next till we reach to the month of August, and after we reach to the month of August, we are selecting this particular value 15th over there, right? So let's see if it's working fine. So for that, let's execute this file. Okay, it has launched the URL, it has clicked inside it, and it will now navigate through all the months till it reached to the month of August, and then it will select 15th. So the date entered is 15th of August 2026, and our code has run successfully fine. So yeah, that was all about automating the date picker component, and we have seen both the types of date picker, the simple one, the straightforward one, and the other one which we have just seen how to automate it, right? So we will be seeing some more advanced web element and how to automate them in our next session. So till then, stay tuned, and thanks for being up till here. Have a great day.